Hi, I'm Brooke Weiland. I am a fine art photographer and an entrepreneur. Welcome to my channel. I'm sitting here in my art gallery in Manhattan Beach, California. You can see some of my artwork behind me. I'm filming this on Zoom for the first time, so I'm not sure how the color is coming out, but I can promise you these are very colorful pieces of art. Okay, so why am I making this video today? I wanted to share with you a fun conversation that I had with someone who came into my gallery today. This person has their regular job and then they create artwork on the side and they wanted to know how do they get started? How do they monetize? What kind of advice would I have for someone like her? And so I'm going to tell you what I told her, which is something that someone told me. Someone said to me in the beginning of my journey, what is the easiest first step? Figure that out and take that step. And it was really the best advice I ever had for just about anything, because I think what happens when you're first starting is you're thinking about like where you want to end up. And that's usually far from where you are, or it feels far. I think things can happen quickly or they can take time. I don't, it's either one. I don't want to put a limit on things. Slow, fast, it's all good. It's all experience. But what happens is if you're thinking about something that feels far away, it's easy to be intimidated. So that thought, what's the easiest first step, really set things in motion for me. So when I first started to sell my artwork, um, yeah, I had been a photographer for hire. I had created content for people for their social media. And then people started to ask if they could buy prints of my photos that they had seen on my Instagram. And at the time I was using, well, and I still am, but I used my iPhone to take all the pictures on my Instagram. And so I felt intimidated. I felt a little bit like less than, photography can be very equipment oriented. And I went to a photo lab and I just made these very small prints. And I thought like, I don't know if that was good enough or okay, or, I had a lot of insecurities about those things. And so when this person said that to me, I immediately realized I did have a first step that I could take. I did have some small prints that I made. And I had done social media for a grocery store, and a high-end grocery store that was in a cute shopping mall in a high-end neighborhood. And there was a high-end furniture store. And the reason I say high-end is because, art prints are expensive. So you want to know who your customer is. So this neighborhood and this store, the people in that area spend money on art and furniture and groceries. So because I did social media for the grocery store, I had made friends with the women at the furniture store because I would use their plates and things to take pictures of the food, on their table settings, and then I would tag them. And so we had a nice relationship. And I thought to myself, you know what? I really like those women. Now I have a rapport with them. I like the furniture that they sell, and I felt comfortable approaching them and saying, "Hey, I have these prints, and could I could I sell them on consignment here?" And they said yes right away. And then they picked out a few pieces that they liked, and I framed them. I gave them to the store, and they sold them right away. The first set sold, I think, within 24 hours. 24 or 48 hours, I don't remember, but it was like right away. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then it built up a little bit of confidence, and I gave them some more pieces. And so and then I kept going from there. And so every time I get a little bit stuck or nervous, I think, well, what's the easiest next step? Let's say, right? I've already taken the first step. Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm not going to edit that out. I'm just going to keep going. So that was the first step, and it sparked, many other things opening up. And so ask yourself wherever you are, if you're stuck, what's the easiest next step? If you're just starting, what's the easiest first step? And then just do it. And the first step could be something like, I don't know, let's say you're a painter and you've been painting on canvases. Maybe the first step is just stretching the canvas, on a frame. Like maybe you haven't done that. Maybe that's the first step. And you'd be surprised the first, like doing just one step, one thing in the direction that you want to go, it will like open pathways in your brain. You'll get new ideas for new things. So, like for me, I had an in at a furniture store, and so I took that as the step. But really, if you think about it, just making prints in the first place was really my first step. I just didn't think that much about that step. So I would say go easy on yourself. Whatever you come up with as the first step, go for it and do it and show yourself, oh, I took a step, and acknowledge it for yourself. That's another important thing I would say if you're getting started with any type of business, and certainly as an artist, really letting yourself know, hey, I took a step, I'm proud of myself, this is awesome, this is a step towards where I want to go. I think that's a really important part of the process, um, because with each time you encourage yourself, I mean, look, maybe you have someone who's encouraging you in your life, and that's great. But maybe you don't, and so you can encourage yourself, whether or not you have someone outside encouraging you. You still have to be your biggest cheerleader. You still have to be the one because you're alone with your thoughts. So you got to pay attention to what you're thinking. And so whatever steps you plan, whatever things that you lay out for yourself to do, do them and then congratulate yourself. Sounds silly, but really acknowledge I set out to do this. I did it. Proud of myself. And then move on to the next thing. And you'll be surprised. Every time I get in a rut, if I sit down, I go, okay, what's one thing I can do now to move myself forward? And if I do it, and it could be something so small, I swear to God, as soon as I do it, things start to open up. Someone comes in and buys something. I'll get a new idea. Like it always, you just need to get those wheels turning, really. And then the world kind of does the rest. Once you get into the momentum, everything else starts to fall in line. It's getting yourself sort of stuck, forgetting about having the momentum. That is what leads to a feeling like you can't do it. It's not that you can't, it's not that anything has gone wrong. It's just that you forgot you gotta turn those wheels. You've got to turn the wheels. It's just like no other way to do it. You have to turn the wheels. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Again, it could be as simple as I'm a painter who's painting on canvases, and I've never actually stretched the canvas onto a frame, which would make it just easier presentation to sell, let's say. And let's say you have a bunch of flat canvases and you never stretched them. I don't know the proper terminology, but I believe it's stretching onto like a wood frame. Like just that step, you'd be surprised what something will shift. Someone will see you at the art store buying the frame or the framer or whatever, and they'll ask you about it, or you'll make a video of yourself doing and post it, and people will want it. So get the momentum going, get the wheels turning, even just a little turn, one little wheel going, and the rest kind of follows. So that is what I told that person that asked, or I told her some version of that. I think I've added some extra things in here for you guys. And that is the best advice you could have for anything. What is your easiest first step? What is it? And do it and congratulate yourself. Boom. Next thing you know, you'll have a whole business booming. All right. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have questions or if you have certain topics that you would like to ask, I will do my best to to answer questions that I can answer, that I feel like I have the answer to. All right. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, however you're finding this video.